Greetings, my name is Stan Houston, and thank you for your time on this second weekend in June 22. And the world's in a difficult place and space. Hopefully we can, from time to time, look at the stories of people who are not necessarily celebrities, but the ordinary, everyday people who are actually doing extraordinary things, and that can be an encouragement to us. And so that's a lot of what I'm all about. Our company, What It Takes Radio, is in the business of helping you, in effect, finding your voice and reaching your audience and sharing your wisdom, insight, and truth with others. Part of my work also is the Jesus Entrepreneur Experience, helping people to learn how they can be truly people who are of the Spirit and who are entrepreneurs. And this is my flagship podcast. I do 2 or 3 of them, and I'm helping other people do theirs, but it's called Interesting Ideas. And the whole idea is that let's share interesting ideas. And hopefully, because of that, you'll have, first of all, you'll have some greater insight. You'll also be more interesting yourself. And with greater insight, you'll have greater influence. And then along with that, you may have more impact in your life. And then you may even have greater income. True income. And true income is not just money income, but the income of blessings, of new relationships, of even greater ideas, innovations, friends, people who can help you and you can help them. There's a lot of things that are income that are not necessarily based on money. In fact, I think most of us will discover that the things that are most important that come into our life are not the money. Just a thought. Maybe you'll let that, as I often say, let it sit on your head for a while. But what I want to do this weekend, I was particularly struck with a wonderful story. And so I wanted to put it on the radio, but I said, why don't I just also, as long as I'm recording it on my radio stuff here, why don't I just turn the camera on, and perhaps you can watch me perform it on the radio. And since this is radio, I'm just going to read it, along with whatever else I say. So here was a wonderful story, and it was in this weekend's edition of the Epoch Times, which is an internet newspaper, and I would encourage you to read it and subscribe. So I'll give them their great due. They have a lot of good stuff, and particularly to a woman named Louise Chambers, who put together this wonderful little essay, and listen to it. It's called Valedictorian with Non-Speaking Autism Delivers a Moving Graduation Speech, and it's called God Gave You a Voice. Use it. I love that title. God Gave You a Voice. Use it. And there's a wonderful picture of the young woman who gave this valedictorian speech. Here it goes. Here's the story by Ms. Chambers. A Florida college valedictorian with non-speaking autism has given a moving commencement speech to her fellow graduates, urging them to use their voices to serve others. Now, what does that mean? Well, here it goes. Rollins College student Elizabeth Bonker lost her ability to speak at 15 months of age and is profoundly affected by autism. For her commencement address that was delivered to her graduating class of 529 students on May 8th, she used text-to-speech computer software, typing independently with one finger as a communication partner held a keyboard. Since then, the speech has now gone viral, and it's all around the world. Here's what Elizabeth says. I'm one of the few non-speaking autistics who have been taught to type. Elizabeth, who earned her degree in social innovation, told the gathered crowd that at one critical intervention unlocked my mind from its silent cage, enabling me to communicate and to be educated like my hero, Helen Keller. Yeah, great story. By the way, that's great technology. We'll talk a little bit more about that. While Elizabeth's neuromotor issues prevent her from tying her shoes or even buttoning a shirt without help, technology has allowed her to share her message. And here's what she says: God gave you a voice. Use it, she urged the crowd, quipping. And no, the irony of a non-speaking autistic encouraging you to use your voice is not lost on me. There's a wonderful picture of her as a young girl. Okay, in her speech, Elizabeth recalled how during her freshman year, she heard a story about the famous Rollins alum, Mr. Fred Rogers, and a handwritten note found in his wallet after he died, which said, "Life is for service." She called upon her classmates to write the same message on a corner of their commencement program. Take a photo of it, post it on social media, or tear it off and keep it in a safe place. When we see each other at our reunions, we can talk about how our commencement notes reminded us to serve others, she implored. Elizabeth also mentioned that despite struggling her whole life with not being heard or accepted, she believes that one of the greatest gifts is having the freedom to choose our own way. She credits Rollins for fostering a culture of kindness. Elizabeth also thanked the college for taking a chance on her. A story on the front page of our local newspaper reported how the principal at my high school told a staff member, "The retard can't be a valedictorian." She shared that, adding, "Yet today, here I stand. Each day I choose to celebrate a small victory, and today I'm celebrating one of them." After graduating, Elizabeth plans to use her experience to help the world's 31 million non-speakers with autism locked in their own silent cage. That's a graphic picture. To help her with her mission, she's already set up her own nonprofit, and it's called Communication for All, through which she plans to promote access to communication tools for everyone. She also implored her fellow graduates to identify their own dreams and use their Rollins education to fulfill their missions. Founded in 1885, Rollins College at Winter Park is one of Florida's oldest colleges. In a press release, college representatives said that Elizabeth was elected to give the 2022 commencement address unanimously by 4 additional fellow valedictorians: Emily Curran, Sophia Fraz, Jessica Linnemeyer, and Charles Mellon, all of whom, along with Elizabeth, achieved a perfect 4.0 GPA. Elizabeth is also using her voice in many ways to help change the way the world sees non-speaking autism. She's written a book, I Am Here: The Journey of a Child with Autism Who Cannot Speak But Finds Her Voice. And she's also produced an album of songs. In her music video, she and 60 other non-speakers declare their anthem, I Am In Here. I Am In Here. Oh, I love the title. And along with that, there's another song with a guest star who helped them do the song called Silent Cage. And the song transports listeners into what it hopes will be to find out what it feels like for non-speakers to suffer in silence. Having found her voice, Elizabeth now wants the world's voiceless to be able to follow in her footsteps. Great story. Uh, you can find out more about it, and I would encourage you to check it out. Go to the Epoch Times, and you'll find that story, and you'll actually hear some of the speech and some of the works that come right from that technology. By the way, we are in the business of helping people find their voice and to find their audience. What it takes radio is to help you find your voice and reach your audience, because you have a voice. I'm sure some of you have heard the old expression going back that everybody has music inside of them, but most people die with their music still inside of them. And I can tell you, it's very true. There are all kinds of ordinary, extraordinary people who have wisdom, insight, and truth. They have stories to tell. They have blessings to share. They have testimonies of courage and commitment and connection, and they don't do it. I can name people right now who have some incredible wisdom, who learned a lot in their life, and yet that knowledge, that wisdom, that story is not going to make it past their mortality, and it doesn't have to be that way. So I would encourage you. What I do, I've had over 45 years in the broadcast business. I work with pros. I don't want to work with the pros anymore. I want to work with people who have a message of wisdom, insight, and truth, and they've got that to share with others. And I can help you do that. I can help you find your audience, and I can help you get you doing what it takes to be on the radio and share that story. By the way, that technology is so powerful. I've had experience with it. You type it out, or you just take the text, and it's an artificial intelligence voice, and unless you're really good at it, and unless you're expecting it, you would not be able to tell that it truly is just simply an electronic voice. It has so much of the human expression in it. Now, me, who is looking for it, I can tell, usually, but most people would never know that it is not a real voice. And sometimes I've even encouraged people to take their text or whatever it might be and put it through that, and then maybe they can use that as their first little lesson, their first little broadcast. Just say they've encouraged someone to voice it for them, or I've had the ability to find someone who's a spokesperson like me, but they can't afford or don't want to pay someone like me, so they literally have the software who speaks their program for them. And it's well done. Oftentimes it speaks better and more correct English than you and I may do. Oftentimes I've even encouraged people to take that electronic voice, listen to it, and then try and imitate it. And then perhaps you can even then do it yourself by listening to the voice speak your text and your message, and then you try it yourself and bring life to it, and it works great. Today, I'm in the business of helping you do what it takes. I truly believe God has given everybody a life. He's given everybody a voice. He's given everybody a story. And He's given everybody a song. And I want to help you sing your song. Speak your wisdom, insight, and truth. Tell your story. Share the testimonies both of victory and tragedy, of overcoming and despairing, but pressing on toward the high calling. So may I help you? Please reach out to me. This is what Interesting Ideas is all about. It's to help you share your interesting ideas and help you do what you were made to do. And that is, and always will be, to serve others. That's the first commandment in life. Serve others, and do so by sharing your voice and your story and your wisdom with others. That's it. Interesting Ideas is the radio program. Reach out to me at stanhouston@gmail.com. stanhouston@gmail.com. Raise your hand. Say, Stan, I've got an interesting idea. I'd like to be on your radio program. That'd be great. And perhaps then I'll convince you to not only be on my program, but you know what? Maybe it's time for you to start your own radio program. That's what I do. I do it well, and I can help you. Best and blessings to you. Again, press on and search and find your voice. Bye for now. Please reach out to me, Stan Houston, at stan@witradio.net. Witradio.net is our website, and 520-664-7002 USA.